The Chargers have a forgotten man. I'm telling you right now, they have a forgotten man, and we're going to get to that. And if you are new to this channel's not that old, so you might be. We just hit over 5,000 subs, so thankful for it. We live in Michigan. We followed this man, Jim Harbaugh, to the West Coast. Not our first channel, but man, this has been a ton of fun talking Chargers football with all of you. So if you have yet to do it, please hit that subscribe button. But the Chargers have a forgotten man, and it's not a forgotten man, I don't think, with the fans. I don't know. You can tell me once I tell you who it is if you've forgotten about this guy amid all the shuffle and all the things going on. I already did a video about the most underrated player being Alohi Gilman. That's not the forgotten man. Bleacher Report came out with an article. They're all underrated team. Okay, but this guy, I saw it, and I'm like, what are you talking about underrated? And then all of a sudden I realized it's because he's forgotten. So in this video, we're going to talk about who he is, why he's forgotten, and what to expect from him going forward. And it is none other than your second-year edge rusher, Tuli Tuipulotu. All right? And here's the thing about Tuli. He's a good player. How about that? Can I just do that? He's a pretty good technician. He has enough athleticism. He definitely has enough strength, almost surprising strength, to be honest with you. If you were to ask Chris, the other guy who I do this channel with, he'd be, oh, he's Samoan. Of course he's strong. Like, he's obsessed with that. It's really weird. But here's what we see. When a defensive front already features Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, it's easy to get overlooked to some degree. All right. However, the Chargers, Tuli Tuipulotu, greatly impressed after being a second-round pick. All right. He enters the upcoming season in a rotational role since that last year's starting experience occurred because of injuries. However, he's already earned the respect of Bosa and Mack, both of whom have been elite defenders. All right. Here's what Bosa said. I love Tuli. I think he does everything right, everything you can ask for from a rookie and more. Everything you can ask for from any player, honestly. He's just great. He's in the book. He knows everything. And he wasn't done. He said he just knows his stuff really well. You can plug him in any position, and he's going to do his job. At the same time, he just really wants to learn and get better, which I've said this before. He's like a sponge, and he just practices his craft really hard every single day, really consistently, and I think he's getting better fast. All right, here's the other thing that you have to understand. All right, he played a large amount more last year because, like it was said, because of injuries. Well, Bosa has proven more so that he can get injured than he can stay healthy. I was shocked. I'm going to be honest with you. A semi-outsider coming in, reporting on the Chargers. You know, like I said, I live in Michigan, so I don't necessarily I have my views on the team that I watch a lot. I'm in the process of going back and rewatching every game from the last season. I've been doing this for the last month or so. It's been a lot of fun. But as I'm sitting here, when you guys were in contract disputes, or wondering, not disputes, but like wondering who we're going to keep, Mack, Bosa, both. But everybody was like, get rid of Bosa. That was nuts to me, right? Because I'm like, well, he's younger, but he's always hurt. And naturally, if you're always hurt, eventually you start to lose trust with a fan base because they have to wonder, like, what are you putting in the time to your craft that's needed? Are you committed in the way that you have to be? Here's the thing that's amazing about Tuli. Everybody's like, oh, man, he went in there. He got 8 sacks, according to PFF. Like, that's really, really good. But here's what's more amazing about it. His run defense grade was elite. His pass rush was just moderate. He just made the best use of it. All right, and that's what's kind of amazing to me. He had 339 run defense snaps and 444 pass rush snaps. But he proved at his height and weight, 6'3", 266, that he could be a multifaceted defensive end. He could hold the edge. He could be a great run defender while at the same time getting pressure on the quarterback. This is a big, big deal. All right, in those 339 pass snaps, he had 8 sacks, 36 hurries, 7 hits for a total of 51 pressures. That's not a bad pressure rate. All right, that's not a bad pressure rate. That's a pressure rate of about, I mean, if it's 50, 200, that's 1 in 7, right? So we're looking at like a 16, 17-ish% pressure rate. That's impressive. But what's also impressive is his 39 tackles and 10 assisted tackles on 444 rush snaps. That's impressive. So the question is I know personally, like any other team, if you have a guy go out there and grade extremely high on the run defense side and force 2 fumbles and get 8 sacks and have 49 tackles, which all solo tackles, by the way, 39, he's tied for 11th in the position. It's insane, right? So like if you are a guy who's doing all these things, how can you be forgotten about? And the answer, honestly, is really simple. It's about who's around him. You have Joey Bosa, who's proven that when healthy, he can be an elite pass rusher. You have Khalil Mack, who is just ridiculous, right? Like, I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Has had a tremendous career, one of the best edge rushers we've seen in the last 20 years. And then you go out and you get, as a free agent, a Bud Dupree. So now all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, where's Tuli fit? He fits. Because with this defense, you can play 3 of those guys at once. And one of them's probably going to be hurt. So you can play 3 of them at once. One of them's going to be hurt. The linebacking core is not extremely strong. All right. You have Denzel Perriman, sure. You have Junior Colson, absolutely. But behind that, it gets a little thin. I'm not going to lie. It gets a little thin. So, I mean, Nick, Neiman, Troy Dye, like, I don't know. And so, like, how much can you move him around the line? He has the size to line up against guards if you want him to in obvious passing downs. He's going to get on the field. And that's why I think that he could be good not only this year, but Khalil Mack is not your long-term answer. He's not. And what the Chargers are doing is this year, they're realizing everybody dogs this defense. All right. And the tackling last year was bad. It was. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, right? It was. But overall, it didn't rate as like this absolutely garbage defense, right? They were 24th in points allowed. Not good, right? Bottom third of the league. All right. Their defensive rating was 20th. But their special teams was first. Their defense, in many ways, actually, and I know part of this is because Herbert missed games, right? But their defense actually rated ahead of their offense. And what they're doing with this new coaching staff, with this new GM, is they're saying, we have a position of strength. Tell me an edge defending room that is better than Bosa, Mack, and Tuli. Like, give me that. Show me that. And then you add Bud Dupree. Like, that might be the best edge room in the country. In the NFL. All right, in case country makes you think college football. In the NFL. That's a solid crew. So, I like what they're doing. He's the forgotten man, but he's a huge part of what this team is going to do going forward. In fact, with the injury history of Bosa and everything that's going on, I wouldn't be surprised if Tuli ends up with more career sacks than Bosa when it's all said and done. I know it's kind of a crazy take, but let me know what you think. Have you forgotten about Tuli? Or has he been on your radar, and are you excited and hoping that he actually gets more playing time than some of the big names in front of him? All right, let me know what you're thinking. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll be here all summer.